It's a pleasure to have George Mink with us today. George has two of Johnson& Johnson's Attune knee in both his legs. And he has been having a great experience with it. So I'm going to start. George, tell us about your life before surgery, the activities you love doing, and when did you realize you had to do something about your knees?
Well, one of the things that I loved doing a lot was running. I love riding a bike. I love competing. And I had done that for years. And one of the things I started to notice is I started to get this incredible pain on the inside of my knees. And I thought, well, I'm just training a lot, and maybe this is just part of it. But after a period of time, it just got completely bad. I remember on my last half marathon 13 miles, when I was at the 2-mile mark, the pain was so incredible that I could barely walk. Now, I walked to the finish line and ran over and packed my knees full of ice, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this was the way my training and my running was going to end. And that's kind of what happened with how my knees went.
So George, most patients research which surgeon to go to. I think you went a step further. You actually knew which implant do you want. Tell us about that story. How did you get to which surgeon, which implant do you want for your knees?
Well, one of the things that I did is, patients are more informed today. They're more informed about what's going on with their body. So when I realized that I was going to go ahead and have to have knee replacements, what I did is started doing all the research, all the hard research. Who's the best out there? Who has the best performance? Who's doing a great job with the knees that they have? And what's the new stuff on the market? Now, I saw an article out there that I thought was really, really cool. I saw this tennis player, after 4 weeks, was out playing tennis, competitive tennis. And I thought, wait a second. He's doing that after a knee replacement. Who is this guy and what did he get? So one of the things that I did is after I narrowed down my research, I went one step further. I got on the plane and I chased down one of the reps in Florida. I said, hey, is there any way I can have a talk with you? Now, I found out that he was at a baseball game. I'm sure he didn't appreciate me talking to him during a baseball game, but I sat there with him for about an hour and I said, listen, can we talk about your knees? And can we talk about the performance of these knees? After we went through all the research, I'm sure he missed half the game. Like, who is this guy, right? But when I was finished, I took that information, went back, and I put it all together. Now, what I did with that is I went to the VA. I'm a veteran. And I went to the VA and I said that, can I please interview the doctor that might be changing my knees? So it's kind of unusual. Most people don't do that. They just take our word and go. So I spent another hour and a half interviewing him. I'm sure he felt like he was getting interviewed to have a hospital job or something. But that's kind of what I did. I went through all the T's and dotted all the I's to make sure that I was getting exactly what I wanted. And what was going in me was the best that I can get my hands on.
George, there's something called Escape from Alcatraz. Can you tell the audience what is that race about?
Well, I'll tell you what the Escape from Alcatraz is. They take you out to the prison. Anybody heard of the Alcatraz prison? They take you out to that prison. All right, there's 3 types of sharks out there. It's about 48 degrees. And they drop me in the ocean. It's about a 2-mile swim. I swam to San Francisco, all right. I jumped up on the beach, ran about a half, 3/4 of a mile, through an entranceway, another 1.5 miles to my bike. Then what I did is I rode 18 miles in the hills in San Francisco to the other side, came back, got rid of the bike, and ran another 9 miles, okay. So, and there were still people behind me, which was really cool when I came across the finish line.
So that's excellent. Even us with healthy knees have never done, can't even imagine doing Escape from Alcatraz. Tell us about your recovery, George. So how quick was the recovery and when did you have the confidence to say, I'm going to go and participate in that race?
Well, I'll tell you what I did is that I was up walking with both my knees in 2 days. All right. They told me to take my time and I thought taking 2 days was too long. So what we did is we just started walking. I started walking up and down the hallway and they kept saying, Mr. Mink, you don't have to do this. You have so many sessions in rehab, you don't have to add on to it. And I said, no, you don't understand. If I don't do this, I'm not getting out of here. So I did a lot of walking up and down the hallway. After that, what I started to do is walk really, really fast. When I went home, okay, then I started walk and run. Went to the track, and my first run was 1 mile. Now, it was really slow. I wasn't beating any records. And one of the cool things that I realized is, hey, I have no pain. I don't feel my knees. Which was interesting when I finished and I came across the finish line in Alcatraz. Everyone said, they come running up to me and they said, how's your knees? How's your knees? And I said, I don't feel my knees. My back hurts. I said, that's incredible. So all I did was take a progressive journey to get healthier and healthier and healthier. You see, I knew the knees would hold up. The issue was I ready and was I willing to go ahead and go for it? To do the best I could do with great equipment, and that's just what I did.
George, as you look back at that journey, is there anything you would have done differently?
You know, I'm sure we've heard this a lot of times. As a matter of fact, I've had this question a lot of times. You know, when do you think you would have done it? I'll tell you when I would have done it. I would have done it 10 years earlier. Okay, I would have done it a lot earlier. You know, it's fear that motivates us to either move forward or stay away. And a lot of times people don't get their knees done because they're afraid, okay? But I regret not getting my knees done a lot sooner. Now, the cool part about it is as I'm sitting here today, last night I ran almost 40 minutes. I rode on the bike almost 45 minutes. Then I did a little rowing thing to give my knees a break, right? And then I did a little bit more working out, okay? I can do everything today, that I was doing when I was 20 years old. So I don't regret a thing about this.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Any advice, people listening here, they might have friends, family who might need total knee replacement. Any advice you have for them? What should they be thinking? What should they be doing as they approach this big surgery?
Well, as I said, the patients are more informed today. So first thing you want to do is do your research. Okay? Understand who's doing a great job out there and who's doing the best. Okay? Do your preparation, all right? Once I knew I was doing that, I trained before I got my knees replaced, and I immediately got back to training when I got finished. You have to start with the end in mind, all right? And what people get told is they get told that when you get your knees replaced, just take it easy. Some of the doctors say, just take it easy. Now this is the easy part of your life, all right? And I kept saying, take it easy. No, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. So if you start with the end in mind, what do I want to do? Do I want to run? Do I want to jump? Do I want to ride a bike? Do I want to kick? Do I want to do martial arts? And you match that to what it is you're getting. And that's exactly what I did.
Well, that's great. Just incredible, Josh, to hear your story. And it is so motivating and inspiring for all of us who work in this industry. I just want to thank you for your time, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, everybody.